down the room with
He definitely
homeless
brought down
children.
the room with that emo shit. Like, oh, well, that's so
For the
sad.
price of a cup of coffee a day, you can support all of Art's children that he's impregnated. No, I'm sorry, not the children he's impregnated, but the women he's impregnated.
So are you supporting
we're on?
children or the women?
Sorry, we're on?
We've been recording.
Oh,
Help
sorry.
support Art's children
No,
today.
I think it's funny when they show, like Patrice O'Neal said, when they show, like, those kittens with, like, pencils stuck in their head. Like,
What
who's
the
doing that? Like, when they show, like, or the puppy shoved in a cup. Like,
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
No filter.
No filter.
No filter.
No filter.
Welcome to No Filter.
The No Filter,
no filter.
The No Filter podcast, which is
an EMP Network production.
in this show you'll encounter nothing but straight talk, no PC.
No PC.
No PC consistency
Please note that the
Opinions from the hosts.
are not a reflection of the EMP network. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening,
Thanks for opening up your ears and your minds.
and we hope you like this one.
Like, who is shoving puppies in a cup? And who-
I'm sorry, a pencil in a cat's head?
like those late night commercials. And it's like, in the arms.
No. I get that, but a pencil?
But, like, they just show, like, cats with missing eyes and all that
yeah.
stuff. And all type of weird stuff. But it's
Maine.
like,
Why were you so stuck on the pencil thing?
because
I've never... That was such a weird example. I'm like, who the fuck is doing this?
You've heard the washer and like you heard the overstuffed washer. So
who is shoving pencils in cats' faces?
So what are you saying about these commercials now?
I just think that they're like, do they need to really show them at that time of night? Like, have you ever been like compelled and that's upset just watching one of these commercials at 3 a.m? And you're like, you know what? Let me go get my wallet.
See, here's the thing with that. It's a psychological and emotional thing. It's kind of like the Nigerian prince scam. So you've heard of that scam where you get emails and it's like, if you send me your bank account routing number, I'll give you $1 million or whatever.
And people really done that.
And the thing is, you look at it and you think it's so ridiculous. Who would do this? Who would fall for this? But you're not the person. You're not the kind of person that's being targeted for that. So there is like a small percentage of people that's being targeted.
Like maybe elderly folks, because that's even something. Yeah, I know.
I used to
that you
work
can
for
take advantage
Apple,
of.
and like I worked on OS and iOS machines, like, and I would do customer service as well. And they would call me in. They would call in and they would say, "Yeah, well, these people, there was a something popped up on my computer when I jumped on Safari, and it said this and that my computer was hacked, and they called this number. So I called that number, and that person made me." And these people would pay $200, $300, $400, $500.
Dude, that happened to somebody I know.
Yeah, it happened to somebody. It happened
Luckily that they didn't go through with it. They
actually, somebody we work with, it happened to him, and
man.
and I was telling him about it, and he didn't know he got scammed until I explained to him what was going on.
That's
so
horrible.
He just found out he got scammed. I thought it was hilarious.
Let me say my closer now. If you're an individual who's doing that to older and elderly folk, throw yourself off a fucking bridge. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that upsets me. I'm sorry. And now I'm sweating.
Well, I mean, it's not even older and elderly folk. They do it to people in general,
Right.
But
But
if
if
you
you're-
honestly, because it's how it works is it's a law of averages. You have to send it
Numbers game.
you have to send it to 1 million people in order to get maybe, I'll say, 100,000 people to call you.
Okay.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
talking
So
about
it's
just
not
elderly
really-
abuse,
but
though.
It's not elderly abuse.
I know-
It's just people abuse in general, because they don't target out. It's not a targeting system. It's just an
sometimes people
algorithm
just
that just
aren't
throws
that
out the random
smart.
people.
You know,
No, I get that.
People just aren't smart sometimes,
It's
and they can
not-
be taken advantage of.
But I wouldn't say smart. I would say savvy. Like you don't know that your computer cannot be hacked.
Yeah.
Like if Apple or if Windows or somebody is going to send you like they're not going to pop up on your Google Chrome saying your computer is hacked.
Right,
Just
but if
close
it looks
and clear your
legitimate
cookies.
and you don't know any better, you could fall for it.
Exactly, and that's where the naivety comes from.
I actually got a phone call today. It was I don't know who it was.
Was it about your herpes?
No. But they left the
You
voicemail.
wear a hairpiece? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's hilarious. But they left the voicemail and they were like, "You need to call this number back in regards to," and they threw some random name like Chloe. It was some random name that someone I don't know. Like
You definitely
it's
know
of
a
a person.
Chloe or two.
I don't. But it's of a person that I don't know, and they're like, "You need to call this number back," and they didn't give any information about who it was. And I'm like,
I've
who
gotten a
does
phone
that?
call like that before.
I've gotten a couple
Like-
of those. Hi, my name is Joseph, and I'm looking for. No, you're fucking not. You're not looking for me, Joseph.
Yeah,
I don't
like-
fucking know you.
Oh, one time I got a
public
voicemail
record.
because I never answer my phone, so I always let it go to voicemail. I got this voicemail from somebody calling collect from a prison in Texas. I had to look it up afterwards because it said the name of the prison, and it was like this lady. Like I'm sure this was her like one phone call.
San Quentin.
It was her one phone call, and she's like, Roger, please call me. You know, I'm locked up or whatever. I just felt bad because that was probably her one phone call. And, like I didn't answer.
She's in a maximum.
didn't
She's in a
answer-
maximum
you didn't
security
answer that
prison.
lady's-
You didn't answer her
Damn.
only phone call for
She was
for a
through.
decade.
She's gonna Michael Schofield that prison and come kill your fucking ass. That's what's gonna happen.
Yikes.
Man, I feel bad for some of these people who attempt to, run scams and, commit fraud, like the people who, are calling individuals and all.
That's
because,
actually part of my
it's
topic too.
The type of, I feel bad for some of them because when you call black women, they're not just going to tell you don't call. They're going to let you have it. My mother used to lay into folk. And then put them on speakerphone, like, just to make them feel like shit. And then they would go, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Wrong number." It'd be hilarious.
Your mom used to lay into everybody though. That's not fair.
Hey,
She used to
easy.
lay into everybody.
Easy. Let's change the terminology.
Why? You made it.
I said it was an isolated thing that I was talking about, and then you said you just made it sound 10 times worse with saying laying everybody.
Easy.
How?
Let's say that she used to give everyone shit. How about that?
That's not better.
Read them the riot act.
Yeah, she used to read them the riot act.
My mom used to read chapters from Malcolm X's biography at people on the phone. What the fuck are you talking about?
Go ahead, finish what you were talking about.
Oh, that was what I was saying.
Ow.
All right.
Getting violent already, and we're like 5 minutes into the podcast.
He hit me with the recyclable shit. The recyclable shit
That
carton.
water is fantastic. You're such a hater.
It probably has
such a hater.
it probably has like parasites in it. And
I keep
shit.
telling you to go grab
Straight
one,
from
and you still
Mexico.
haven't grabbed it. Wow.
Oh, you can't tell me Mexican water is fucking drinkable.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
so
Wow.
ease off on the
You see
virtue
this?
signaling
You see
there.
this right here? You see this? I take issue with that.
You take issue with me saying Mexican water's bad?
No, you were talking about Mexicans.
Mexican.
Yeah, Mexicans.
Mexican drink that water.
Mexican drink that water. How do you guys feel about after sex smell?
Depends.
You know what I'm talking about.
The smell of sex.
Oh, yeah, the smell of like
with
vagina
with a condom
penis,
or
intercourse. Without a I hate that condom smell.
the condom smell is
I
different. It's a
hate
unique
that
smell.
condom.
Oh, yeah. So, well, I mean, on other people, no thank you. I don't want to smell that.
It depends on like the person you just had sex with.
Okay,
You're like,
if that's what
I'm
we're
half
talking
of
about.
that, and that smells delicious.
I like it.
The after sex smell is like okay for like maybe 2 minutes, and then after that it gets weird because like the air hits it and then it just creates some shit that I don't even know. I don't know. It hits my
Who
nose.
are you having sex? See, this
hits
is
my
what
nose
happens
wrong.
when your herpes flare up.
Oh my goodness! Stop. It hits my nose.
It's
wrong.
it's kind of like an intimate thing. It's a good moment. I think I like it.
I like it too. I don't mind it at all. Ooh, you know what I don't like though? I don't like when I was younger, like when I was like in like middle school or something, I would like finger girls and like you couldn't always wash your hands, so you would have that post finger smell.
Dude, the post finger
smell is
ridiculous.
gross.
I mean,
especially like at that age, like chicks didn't know how to wash their vaginas properly,
your garbage chute
and they
ever
were eating McDonald's.
has your garbage chute ever like backed up, like in your sink?
I thought this was another euphemism, dude.
Or like the drain in the basement.
Yeah,
Have you ever had
yeah.
that? And you went down the basement. You're like, what the fuck is that? That's what. Yeah, it's yeah.
No, that's not.
man.
It's stinky
Who are
pinky.
you fingering? And who are you having sex with to make this so extreme? Like,
they know who they are.
Oh, jeez. I don't want any part of this conversation.
They know who they are. It's crazy.
I'm joking.
There's a pencil in his face.
Who is stabbing cats with pencils? He said, then they come out with a random fact like there's 150,000 cats being stabbed with pencils in the face each year.
Every day, millions of kittens are being stabbed by pencils while puppies are being shoved into cups.
I told you have the
Shoving
voice for
a
it.
puppy into a cup is
Does that?
crazy.
That is crazy, man.
I think maybe they're doing it for the commercial. I
That's
think
why
they're
are.
the ones
to
doing
add
it.
to the statistic. Yeah.
That's
Because
why I
who's
say-
filming this? You know what I mean? Like, stop filming and do something.
Yeah, like the people who go over here to film and they're just sitting there filming this like sad ass dog who has like
Yeah.
no eye.
Or like the children in Africa. That's like,
Oh yeah, with the bugs flying on their foreheads
Yeah,
and shit.
like-
that pisses me off.
like
That
I
pisses
understand
me
you want to
off
get
so
the message
bad.
across, but how patronizing is that?
Yeah.
A little bit, you
Yeah.
know?
And that little kid looks so sad. He looks like he wants that cookie that you're holding over his head so he can look sad.
I mean, they want water. Like, I mean, they just they look
terrible.
bad. Yeah, they look bad.
Yeah, actually, I think probably they don't give a shit. They're probably just like, what the fuck are you doing? Get that thing out of my face.
You know it's white people.
What'd you say?
I said, you know it's white people filming that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But imagine if it was a black guy going over here, he was filming. What do you think they would do?
They would probably murder him. Like, I can't see him leaving that unscathed.
It's a bad idea.
Like, he would have to get killed because, first off, you would have to get killed.
You would have to.
have to.
You cannot be a black man
I
going
forgot
over here
my fucking topic
with
again.
like clean clothes, your skin is healthy, everything is good about
Chinos.
you. Chinos, you're fit, you're in shape, and you're filming us? Nah.
And our arms are the size of your fingers and our bellies the size of your heads, and you're taking pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Carnage.
this whole time
Carnage.
you're talking about like I don't know. I thought we were talking about like another African man, like filming.
Oh
that.
no.
I know we were talking about African
yeah,
American.
Yeah, they would throw him off the cliff, but yeah.
Oh, he would get murdered. He would definitely get murdered.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's uncomfortable to even think about. Let's move on.
So actually, did you guys hear about? So I was following this story because I thought it was a pretty endearing story until it flipped upside down. This lady or this couple needed $20 for gas. All right, this homeless guy gave them $20.
That is hard. That's super hard.
They were so grateful that they started a GoFundMe for this guy.
I would have done the same thing.
Hold on, wait. Now, they raised $460,000 for this guy. Didn't give him shit at first.
What?
Hold on. And then they gave him $75,000. So he sued them for the rest of the money. Right? Hold on.
So he took the 75.
Hold on.
He hired an attorney.
That one In Living Color skit with Damon Wayans. You know the skit where he carried around that jar with like one pickle in it? I'm out. You're out of order. This whole damn courtroom's out of order.
All right.
Like,
So
nah.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I'm
dude.
sorry. This whole damn courtroom.
That was a good character. Okay, so the homeless guy takes him to
All right,
court.
so he takes him to court, and it was still in what is the standoff stalemate. It was still in a stalemate, and then the truth came out. It was a scam.
The guy
It was
wasn't even
all
homeless.
A scam. No, the guy was homeless, but the couple they
set something up
coordinated with the guy, yeah.
With the homeless guy.
With the homeless guy to make this GoFundMe so that way they can raise this money.
That had to be a federal offense.
Wait a minute. Now, what happened was they raised this money and they only gave him $75,000. They would have got away with it, but you know what the problem was? They got greedy. They got greedy.
Yep.
And he was like, you know what?
So how much
Shit's about to get
So
real.
was taking them to court part of the plan?
No.
How much were they supposed to actually give him with the
I
agreement?
guess split it 3 ways.
Okay.
Like, or 50-50 because they are a couple. And
Right.
because, like, here's the thing. If me and my wife goes into business with you and all 3 of us make money, it's still going to be 50-50. We're going to get half of that money and you're going to get the other.
It kind of depends on if
she puts in her own part and I put in my own part, if we don't like, but we earn together, like we have the same bank account, like so there is no my own.
It would be more
and
for
your
you.
own.
Yeah, right.
the
'cause you'd be
benefit,
getting
yeah,
half.
right.
You would
than a
get
third.
half. You know what I'm saying? We would have to split our half.
it would be what partnership.
Exactly. So what happened was they got greedy, and so instead of the 460 that they raised, and then after taxes it was like 360 or
That's
480.
crazy.
They
The
raised
government
420, and then
rapes
after
people.
taxes, I feel like you're taking away the wrong part of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what you're upset about.
$360,000.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm
So
just
they got greedy.
I'm just
and
thinking about the recent
they got caught because of
lotto
it.
deals.
That's defrauding people out of money. They're raising money
Yeah.
under fraudulent circumstances.
That's why it has to be a federal offense. It
Yeah,
has
I
to
would
be.
assume so.
No, I mean it's obvious. Yeah, they're going to face charges. They're facing charges.
Good, and they should.
Do you know what the charges are?
Not yet. You guys can discuss this for a minute while I look it up.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Get a real quick answer from you. Is this something you saw on social media?
It's something I saw. No, I seen it in my news feed.
Okay, so I was going to say, what I was going to bring up, something that I hate. I should have my own section that says, here's what bothers me. So where I just list things that piss me off. But one of the things that I don't like on social media are these posts that people film. I'm going to go give this homeless person $100. And then they film it and they put it on YouTube or social media. And under the premise or the guise of, look at this kind act. It's kind of like a humble brag, right?
It is.
But just do it. Like, I hate the fact that you're filming it because it's taking away from giving to someone.
The GoFundMe is different than
No, but I'm saying I know this is different from the situation you were saying. I'm just kind of, while you're looking that up, I'm just kind of ranting here for a little bit.
So Drake has a music video that he did for one of his songs on
God's
his most recent.
Plan.
Yeah, and he did it in Miami, and he whatever it was for the filming of, because they used a lot of like impoverished areas and all, and then some college students and stuff. But they gave like I think $1 million, but they fucking showed it on they showed it at the end of the video like this. It was less than $1 million, and I think it was for tax reasons. But it was like 966,000 was donated to such and such. Why do we even have to talk about that?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with that though. Does it really matter? And this is good because the last podcast we were just talking about intentions. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they're obviously doing it for publicity, but that person that's getting that money doesn't give a fuck why they're getting that money. Like, now who gives a shit about his intentions? You're giving me the money that I need. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true, but I think, okay, that one person gets a benefit, but all of society that is viewing this is getting a negative effect.
That's not true. See, now I honestly think that's a cynical way to look at it because that may inspire people to do more. That may inspire somebody else to, oh well, if Drake can donate, I can donate.
But do you think Drake was looking at it that way?
Or even, I don't know what Drake was looking. I can't speak for him. You know what I'm saying?
I doubt it.
But like, even if it's not. Even if it's a competition thing, Drake donated. Now Diddy might feel like he's obligated to donate. Then Jay-Z might feel like he's obligated to donate.
But I'm talking about like individuals like you and I, and like it. I guess he like on one hand, like, okay, because this is a common occurrence. I know it happened at our work, Remorseless. I'm sure it happened at yours. Like somebody gets sick, or somebody's birthday. So they pass around a card, get well soon. And a lot of times, I don't know these people. And I don't mean to be rude, but I don't really care. I don't care not because I don't care about you, but just like, you're not my life. You know, not in a rude way.
Definitely in a rude way.
It's not. So the moral question is, do I sign this even though I don't know this person? Do they care that I'm signing their birthday card? And if the takeaway is when that person gets the card, they open it up, and the reaction you want is the more signatures there are, the better I'm gonna feel good.
Quantity over quality.
It's like having likes on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. So if that's it, I just want to make somebody feel good. Sure, I'll sign my name. Right. If that's the moral question, the end result is that person's gonna feel good. Okay. So that's on one hand. So no matter what my intentions are, whether I just want to get likes on Instagram, so I'm going to go give this homeless person food and post it on Instagram. I'm doing it for a shitty reason, but the end result is the homeless person feels good. So that's on one hand. But on the other hand, that if people do the same thing or inspired by that, and they do it for the same shallow reasons, isn't there something to be said that's creating hollow people?
You want to know why well, yeah, I agree. I agree with you. But the reason why that doesn't matter is because you're not supposed to focus on the person donating. You're supposed to focus on the person who's getting the donation. Right? You don't really.
Yeah, I know. That's the whole point of the post.
Yeah, like I'm not going to sit there and meet this guy and give him high fives. Like, I don't care why you're donating. I don't give a fuck why LeBron opened a school. I don't give a fuck why anybody's doing these good things. Even if it's for their own reasons, they're still good things.
That's
just like
what
if
I'm
they
saying,
did the wrong
if
thing.
it creates a hollow people with shallow intentions, eventually I think that's a society that's going to crumble.
You think so?
I do.
I think so.
I agree.
But I don't know. And the reason why is because these people that are, and that's where I was going. I may have got sidetracked, but these people who are receiving the donations may not look at these people that gave them the donations as a hollow person. They may look at them as good people, and then that inspires them to be the good person that they think that person is, even if they're not. Like, there are a lot of people that say Donald Trump's a good man. There are a lot of people that says Hitler was a good man. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people that think these things. So they aspire to be like the good person that they see, not necessarily the person that they are. You don't, like Michael Jordan, for example. I've heard he was a terrible person.
But I hear he gives a lot of money back. Yeah.
I've heard he was a terrible person. But people don't inspire to be Jordan, you know. They inspire to be the athlete that Jordan was. So that's how I think. That's why I don't think it will crumble, because if you're molding a generation, if you're molding the next generation to view good over bad, I don't think a society will ever crumble from that. And that's why, like, when I say stuff like Double D, that's a cynical standpoint. I'm not disagreeing with you. Some people are pieces of shit. There are a lot more negative in the world than positive. I think that's one of the reasons why we have to focus on the positive a lot more, because just like Jay Bell said in one of our podcasts before, if it bleeds, it leads. You know,
right?
So
right.
we have to get away from that. We have to, instead of all of these people getting shot, you know what I'm saying? Why not, or instead of all of these people burning up in a building, why not send our condolences to the people who died in that building, but praise the firefighters who ran into the fucking building to pull the rest of the people, because 42 people may have died, 8 people might have only been saved. Why not praise the firefighters who actually saved lives? Because technically they're fucking heroes.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with police officers too. I mean, usually you only hear about whenever they do
whenever
something
they're
wrong.
doing something fucking wrong. That's why when we were talking about like them having
people.
basketball teams and different shit like that, like, I like talking about stuff like that. It may be because I'm older now, you know what I'm saying? But I enjoy talking about shit like that, because I think it's important to look at the positive now, especially since I have kids. And like you'll hear your kids talking, And have you ever, Double D, Arch, you don't have any kids that you know of yet, but Double D, but you have little cousins like my kids. You know how like there's shit that's just so, it just pisses me off, or it's just so cringeworthy when they talk because they'll say something just mean. Like
who's this?
Like my son will get a high score in a game, and my daughter will be like, "You're still stupid."
Like to
Are
each
you
other.
fucking serious? Just say
Yeah.
that's what's up and give them like when we were growing up. You know what I'm saying? If we had a secret, like if I was cussing outside, Art would never tell him. Just like if he was cussing outside, we had that
It was
bond.
camaraderie.
Yeah,
it's a certain-
like that's not in society anymore. There's no
See,
loyalty.
I don't know about that. I think that might be more of a localized, personalized anecdote for you because I mean I didn't have that.
You didn't have that?
No.
Really?
So I don't think
would
that's a
snitch
general.
you snitched on your like brothers and sisters?
Well, I mean, my family is. I don't think it was like yours. I mean, it wasn't like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, it may be localized, but the point, the
I
point
mean to
that
say,
I'm making.
I didn't mean to seem dismissive.
Oh, no,
or
no,
anything.
no,
I just meant
no,
that my
absolutely
family
not.
is not close. That's what I mean. I'm not.
But we're not talking about close now. We're talking about close.
No,
like,
I mean,
growing up. Like,
I
okay.
mean growing up.
All right. Well, what I was saying, not to just dismiss what you were saying, because we can go back to that if you want. But what I was saying was, we need to focus on the positive more than the negative. Remember when I said it's easy to develop a picture when you focus on the negative.
Right.
It's a lot harder to develop one when you focus on the positive because that's where the picture isn't.
I agree. So I agree on both sides, right? Like, so I can see from your standpoint, and that's how I was initially looking at it. Like when people are broadcasting this and they're not humble about it, and because I participate in a lot, in the community, and I do a lot of volunteer work. Tomorrow I'm actually
He hands out penicillin.
that's but Thanksgiving's coming up, and Thanksgiving I'll be driving around in the early mornings or so, handing out gift bags or so to the homeless. So I do this type of stuff all the time, and it never makes social media.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it year after year, all the holidays. I'm like a huge humanitarian, and it never makes social media because I don't want glory or some sort of praise for it. I do it because it's in my heart to do it, right?
Yeah, see, that's the way that I think.
But I also look at it from your perspective as well.
Yeah.
Because it can be a positive thing that just drives more and more people to do it. So as
And
long
I
as
was
the
about to
act is
say
being
that.
done, then it can be something positive.
A perfect example would be like donating clothes and donating toys and shit like that. My kids have a lot of clothes and toys and different things like that to donate because they just grow out of them. Kids grow. That's just how years work. They grew out of them.
how years
you know
work.
what I'm saying? So with that being said, they have a lot, and it's more difficult now to find somewhere to donate shit because everybody wants this anonymity, and that's good. But for people that actually want to help, like you have to have that. You have to make it available. You have to make help available. So if you were on Instagram, where like if all three of us were to go out in the No Filter podcast, did a turkey drive or something like that, which I do plan on doing next year, by the way. Hopefully we get. Hopefully
that'd be
we.
cool, man. I'd love to do
hopefully
it.
we move forward enough to be able to actually do that. But just if we did a turkey drive and we recorded while we were out on the turkey drive or something like that, that shit can be broadcast because we can get people to come out. You know what I'm saying? And even if they're coming out to get turkeys instead of helping us, like even if it's just us three just doing everything, maybe next year it won't be. Maybe somebody else will come out and then there'll be four. Well, I mean, besides J Bell, J Bell is part of the group, so it'll be five. But maybe it won't. But you don't know unless you try. You just have to make that availability.
I agree with you.
Do that because it's sorry, Double D. Let me get this off real quick. Pause. And we don't do that because it's always, well, they're doing that because. And I suffer from paranoia, so I always think there's an ulterior motive. But it's more of, I don't really give a fuck. Well, that's actually just a more personal thing. But when it comes to situations like this, I don't care because they're doing a good thing.
Okay, so that I admit that. I mean, I'll go back and forth. I think one of my faults is sometimes I do overanalyze, especially people and their motives. Whenever I should just maybe just relax. And so I get that point. I would just maybe gently remind people to check their motives and their intentions.
I agree. On that turkey drive, can I be Nino Brown? You be G Money?
I'm definitely Nino.
Okay, I'll be G Money.
Yeah, because I'm going to kill you on a roof.
Handing out turkeys like Nino Brown, baby. You know what we're talking about, Double D?
I don't.
You've seen New Jack City.
I've never seen New Jack City.
You have to go back. I don't know if you have to purchase it on Google Play or it's an old gangster movie, but it was like
I've heard of it.
Wesley Snipes, and it was
or
basically
American Gangster. I can be Nucky. You can be Frank Lucas.
Okay, cool.
I was thinking Barney from How I Met Your Mother, but of course he did that under court order. So,
but no. So
but that's a good example though. He might have did it under court order, but he did it. And that person that was receiving that turkey wasn't looking at it like you're only here because if that
it's a blessing regardless.
Let me tell you something. Right. If I'm getting something from somebody and I don't have shit, if I'm homeless and somebody's giving me a blanket, I'm not gonna ask you where you got it.
So I'm like huge on that, right? So as I was driving over here, I stopped at a Gecko to get some petrol. Gas.
You really laughed at that?
Too soon.
You really fucking laughed at that?
Too soon. Okay. Anyway,
there was dumb.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe you laughed.
I don't know why you guys looked at me the way you guys did.
I can't believe you laughed at that. You're still laughing at it.
It's hilarious, right?
Get going to get some petrol.
So, anyway, but no, there was it was a handicapped individual or so, and you tell he was homeless or so, and he was like pacing back and forth up and down the street, looking at cars for money, and I felt terrible because I was like, man, I could run in here to the ATM because I never carry cash, like you know what I mean. It's very rare that I carry cash.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, you know what? And I like I said before, I think I said on a previous podcast, if I have a bottle of water, if I have a banana, whatever, I'll hand it to him. I had a pack of peanuts in the car, and I was like, I'll just give him the peanuts, right? So I was like pulling out.
Say penis?
Peanuts.
He definitely gave him the peanuts.
I'm good.
He couldn't roll away fast enough. Art's like, come here, get over here.
You guys are stupid. Anyway, I pull out into traffic and I stop traffic, and I told him as he was coming up the street, I put my window down, I was like, here's a pack of peanuts, and he goes, oh, I'm allergic, man. I was like, oh my God.
He should have took the peanuts I said $1, bitch.
I know, like, what? That was the first time that's ever happened.
What if you handed him water and be like, this ain't Fiji?
How did he know that he was allergic to peanuts? Like,
how did he know?
Yeah,
he's still a person. He was an adult. Like, what the fuck? He's not an animal.
He is self-aware.
Yeah, that was my fault. That was stupid. I'll take that one. Shit. I'll take that one. That was me. Sorry, Coach. Sorry. That was me.
How did he know that he was allergic to peanuts?
He was allergic.
He probably had a bad case
for some reason.
So interesting.
Okay, so this is how my head worked. For some reason, my brain's a bag of cats. You put your arm in a bag of cats, you're coming back with a bone. So like,
or a pencil.
There's a pencil in his face.
Hey, I'm telling you, we're gonna get destroyed by PETA.
Fuck PETA. But see, this is what for some reason I just thought he was homeless his whole life. Like that's why I was like, how
homeless
did he not
baby
know?
Dude,
that's why I was like, how did he not know?
Out of
that,
touch with reality do you have to be to think that someone's been homeless there?
No,
they were just birthed homeless.
That was
and
just
they took care of themselves since they were a kid, since they were laying in a manger.
Yeah, you gotta eat scraps of food. What is this, peanuts? Get the fuck out of here! I'm allergic. This guy over here.
Yeah, I felt so bad about that, man. I had to bring that up, but
I don't like.
But I mean, no, like as long as if the act is being done, I can appreciate people doing that. I just have a little bit more humbleness for myself because I don't feel I have to broadcast any good deed that I do.
But you don't have to. But honestly, I do think it and I'm not going to say it is good to, it can be good to, because you can inspire people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, you could make people give you could give people a negative view because they're like, oh, look at this dickhead. He's only doing it for publicity, but fuck them.
Well, you know what's crazy? I think it was maybe 2 years ago at the University of every Christmas I go to the University of Pittsburgh and I volunteer and help, feed the homeless. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, I don't think everyone's homeless, but I think just like the less fortunate as well.
That's checking your privilege.
My mom, she's like one of the most giving people ever. I mean, it was like
she
follows like in suit behind my grandmother was the same way.
Love you, auntie.
And it's so weird because I've asked her before. One year I just went over by myself. I just was like, I'm just going to go do it. And I was like, you want to go? She was like, nah, I'm fine. And then the next year, like, I had to beg her to go. So she went, and she had a phenomenal time. So now we go every year. And I was like, Mom, but you've already been a giving person. Why didn't you want to go? And she said she just felt uncomfortable. I was like, you give all the time, but it's the way that she gives. It's a little bit more of an isolated incident, like she may give to one person or like that whole,
you can come say hi, baby. Come say hi.
Whatever out the car.
Come say hi.
She taught that to me. But when it came to having to serve thousands of people, she was more
uncomfortable.
Yeah, she was very uncomfortable. But I just did it because I was taught that by her.
Arts, Mike.
And I have it in me, and I ended up reintroducing her to that.
Yeah,
how crazy
cool.
is that? Yeah,
that's real
cool.
Hey,
Art, she just came upstairs to ask me if I was going to eat.
No, I said, do you guys want to eat?
Oh, do you guys? Oh, see, she's giving. She's a giving person, and she's offering if you guys are going to eat dinner with us.
Don't broadcast this on Facebook that you're feeding
definitely
us.
don't want to do that.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I'm fine, thanks.
Yep, and I'm not cutting this out.
So, that's really cool.
Isn't that weird?
Now it's a thing that you and your mother do.
Yeah. So it's like I mean, I'm not a kid anymore. I don't sit by the tree, So like with Christmas, I would go visit her, and we
they made
watch
you sit
movies.
by the tree.
Well, no, you have your presents and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
we were like attack dogs. You ever see I Am Legend? Like where the dogs, like the zombie dogs, the dude was holding them, and they was just sitting there until that light disappeared, and then they just ran full speed to attack Will. That's
Will
how
Smith
we were.
movie.
We were just sitting there.
That's
like,
all I'm saying.
Oh, by the
12 o'clock hit.
Oh yeah. By the way, did you see that Bad Boys 3 is coming out?
I cannot
I
wait.
did not. Nope.
Now
I can't wait to see Creed 2. I'm taking the kids
It's
tomorrow.
really good. It's really good.
If you say anything,
I'm not
going to
say
kick
anything.
you in the dick.
But what I thought was interesting out of Bad Boys, because they were like fieldsmen. They were like detectives, and they were like real action fighters. They're older now, so I think Martin is going to be a private investigator, and I think Will's playing something similar. And they're hunting down somebody, but they're on the opposite end of all that action work. So I would like to just see how the movie comes about.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be pretty interesting.
But I mean, Will Smith.
He's still in
I was about to say he's
shape.
in great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's in better shape than both of us.
Easy.
Yeah, he's in better shape than both. Hey, I work out just as much as you do. I'm pretty sure Will's in better. He just
I was
jumped out
gonna
of
say,
a fucking
easy
helicopter.
guys. I mean, I think he's pretty. He's good, man. He's in better shape.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I ain't say Denzel or Martin. Martin hasn't had a neck since 2006.
I know.
Oh, Gino.
He has that neck tangle.
Neck tangle.
No, don't bring that up. Did you see the meme where it had where it had Bone Thugs and Harmony? It was like Crazy Bone, Lazy Bone, Wishbone, Fleshbone, Neckbone.
I mean, that guy. How does that happen? I thought it was Takeo Spikes when I first looked at him.
The what?
Takeo Spikes,
What's
football
Takeo?
player. I thought it was Takeo Spikes because his neck. It looks like a.
It looks like traps.
It looks like a
super
trapezoid, like the way his head goes, and then the way his neck comes like this.
Henry Rollins used to look like that back in the 90s. Henry Rollins was just jacked, and his neck looked just
Was
like
he
that.
like a bodybuilder?
No, he was the lead singer in Black Flag, which is a punk rock band from the 80s, and then in the 90s he had his own band, Henry Rollins Band. And now since then he kind of does like talking shows where it's not really stand up, but he tells stories in an entertaining way. And but in like the 80s and 90s,
Is he from Pittsburgh?
Not that I don't think so. I think he's from DC.
Oh, because it said Henry Rollins, Pittsburgh. I was about to say, shout out to hometown.
I don't know if he's coming. I'd love to go see him.
Oh, yeah, that's the dude right there. Look at his neck.
Yeah.
Is that the guy?
Yeah, but back in the 80s and 90s, his neck was just jacked.
Yeah, he looks like he drank peanut butter or something.
What?
He just like guzzled a jar of peanut butter on the rocks.
I mean, nowhere near like Nectang, or what would you call him? Nectangle?
Nectangle.
Nectangle.
I'll have to show you a picture of this guy.
This is the guy you used to look at?
That picture there. Yeah, okay, looking at it now, I guess it's not as big as that other dude.
Pause.
So this was a Florida
Easy.
man, and it was his mugshot that went viral.
Yeah.
That
That
is
shit is so
crazy.
good.
Inhuman.
Yeah.
What did he do?
I don't know, man.
Like, did he, kill somebody with his neck? He just laid on him.
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know exactly. I don't know. And he's only 31.
Damn.
I'm 31.
Yeah, you got to get your neck up, man.
What?
You're falling behind.
He has a strong.
Looking up, dude.
He have his throat, his throat all choked up. I don't even know what that means.
By the way, I have to say this, dude.
Look at the Google search. Why did that pop up when I put neck guy? It says neck guy mugshots.
There he is. Oh, look at this guy.
Look at that white dude.
He looks like an eel. This guy looks like an elk.
You know, I was going to bring up that other
dude. It seems like it's always looked like that. His neck is long as shit.
That model, dude. I was just going to bring up how people in the last couple of years getting famous for their mugshots. Do you remember that model, dude?
Yeah, the guy right here. Yeah.
All the ladies were falling all over him.
But didn't he go in because of like a domestic violence?
I don't remember.
I think it was something dumb.
Who's that Kronk?
Crunk.
And oh man, what is that?
Wow.
Oh man.
They have one of what is that? Jimmy
Godzilla.
Jimmy Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
Johnny
Johnny
Bravo.
Bravo,
Johnny
yeah.
Bravo.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then one of the
Mama.
Koopas from the Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
That's a
the
little
old
racist, I
Mario
think.
King Koopa.
Yeah, King Koopa. That movie fucking sucked, dude.
What movie is that?
Super Mario Brothers.
Oh,
Yes.
from the
I've
90s. Never seen that movie.
It's
in the-
horrible.
You're lying.
I
I guarantee you've seen it because like
and it's probably something that it was so terrible.
something
I
you don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
For
like
good
bad
reason.
sex. Like you don't remember it anymore.
I remember it. If she has a problem with it, then I remember it.
She has a problem with
Yes,
it.
if I was
I
the
don't-
one who performed badly, I do remember that. It's a gut
That's
check.
because you. Yeah, you have to. It humbles you. You have to work harder.
Do you treat it like football? Like go back and like, oh man, what?
Oh,
how
yeah,
can I
you
do it
definitely
better?
Oh yeah, I
gotta
go
visit
back.
the tapes
I
again.
watch
Keep it
film.
definitely
Yeah,
have
I
to
watch
visit the
film.
tape.
I hire a speed trainer. You know?
Go out, get some practice runs,
Right.
and then go back ready. Ready to go again. You have to. Like, there's no way that you can't not practice and then go back and make sure that you get it done.
So is this all the same dude? The top row, the last four pictures.
Whoa, this guy has like a half a head.
All right. How about we focus on the podcast now? Let's go ahead and get out of this.
All right.
But yeah. So what was my topic? Oh yeah, the homeless dude. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm that's pretty much all I had to say. Like, it was just. But I don't. Yeah, like we talked about intentions. I don't care about your intention, but I do think we need to focus on the positive now a lot more. Like,
But the
it's
only
just
thing
there's
about
there's so much wrong in the world.
But the only thing about focusing on positive is that sometimes like the morality can get fucked up in the end result. You know?
Explain.
So if you have people out here who are filming and broadcasting on Facebook all their good deeds, that's something where it's fucking up morality. Because now, even if you do, if you're influencing someone to do a good deed, it could be for all the wrong reasons.
See, yeah, that's exactly what I was
So-
saying.
So that's why I said I've
what?
seen it from both ends.
See, I don't know. It's
But
just
it messes
like
up morale. How do you teach children that?
like my mother always taught me, like, don't talk about yourself. Don't brag about things. And that's just the way that I grew up. I'm sure many people grew up like that. But this just inherently goes against how I was raised.
But see, no, I don't believe that. And the
You
reason
don't
why
believe that's how I was raised?
I don't believe it one bit. Nope, double D. I don't believe it.
Fuck how you feel. Fuck
you
how you
guys.
were raised. No, but
I wish I could make my
believe,
neck like that.
I don't believe that's how. I don't believe that that goes against how you were raised. Because hold on, and the reason why is because if you're doing it and you're inspiring people, like if you're doing it to inspire people, then how's it going against you? It's just I'm doing it, and if I can do it, you can do it.
Okay, maybe I just won't ever do it. Okay, I guess I shouldn't comment on other people doing it. If you want to do it, that's fine.
Because
it's just not something that I would do.
Because it's having a sense of pride, and even like I'm like religious or so, but even like in it says, before destruction will come pride. So it could be, like I said, it could be something that can be ill intent as well. That's why it's like it's so hard to kind of. I can see it from both sides, though, like you guys are saying, but it can be ill intent. It could be, oh, I'm just doing this because of this, and then now what you're doing is you're getting a generation of people, young kids or people to come up behind and think that the only reason to do good deeds is because of X, Y, Z.
Would you call Jesus prideful?
No, he didn't brag or boast.
Not even brag or boast, right? But people still knew what he did because he also didn't hide from, let's just use the people as cameras. He also didn't hide from the cameras, and he also made sure that his presence was known no matter where he went, right? Because he had to. That was his job.
But he was teaching.
I think that's other people that got his message out.
Yeah, he was teaching a message.
Yeah, but like that's the thing.
A message.
Why wouldn't other people be getting your message out? If you make your message available, other people will get it out.
Okay, so let's bring Jesus to now. Say Jesus lived in this day. I don't think he would be the type of person.
That Jesus is Jesus.
I don't think that he would be the type of person to like get out his phone and be like, "Hey guys, I'm just about here to perform some miracles. If you want to come down to 7th and Wood, I'll be down here."
Watch me keep the party going by making this shit into wine, y'all.
But here's the thing.
He just turned his fucking water.
You guys have a very solid point.
He turned his just water into wine. Can you believe that shit? It's in a carton and everything.
It's in a carton.
What is this, Fiji? I don't turn that into wine.
But yeah, he may not do it himself. Right. But the people around him, just like the people who, like, you're not holding the camera like that when you're handing out turkeys. You have two hands and you're obviously using those hands.
Right.
You don't know who's putting that out there, or that other person may have recorded it. And yeah, I'm gonna look at you like, hey, send me that so I can throw it on my IG.
If we had three hands,
you know what I'm saying?
If we had three hands,
my third one would be flipping you off right now.
Someone would be fucking filming themselves while handing out the turkey with their
I would be doing that.
Jerking off.
I would be doing that.
Well, handing out turkeys and jerking off.
Well, maybe not in that situation. That was a bad time to bring that up.
I'm
just saying, if I had a third arm, I'd be jerking off.
There's a hole in a turkey.
How often would you beat off if you had a third arm?
I guess not any. Well,
I would give myself
any more, but it would just be easier.
I would give myself like the triple stranger,
because you could like hold.
I would sit on all three of my hands and touch myself with all three.
Threesome.
So you would have one hand on the dick and the other two on each ball,
just
no, maybe grabbing my ass.
There you go. Finger in your asshole.
Nah, I don't know about all that.
If you're grabbing your ass, you're already halfway there. You're definitely going to go finger deep one day. You're going finger. You're going to overfill that washer.
Grabbing my ass.
No, but I mean, so yeah, so we can bring Jesus to modern days, or we can just keep whomever it is at. Let's say Jadakiss giving out turkeys. So you really think he's not going to say, "Hey, give that to my IG," so that way it can be on his Instagram? And I'm just saying,
I would not post it on my Instagram. That's all I'm saying.
So when you use public figures like that, then I think it could be a little different, right?
But see,
but if it's the average Joe, like I know people who do it now, and they're nobodies, but they have social media. You know, they do it, but I'm talking about it's a public figure. If you're trying, because a lot of those guys have a brand, right? Or they have some sort of foundation.
Yeah.
So yeah, they put this stuff up there for that to sell their brand, sell their foundation,
absolutely,
and show what it's for.
And a lot of time, it's not doing. They have a team of people that does it for them.
Right? Like they have PR people and stuff.
Yeah. So it's not like they're actually doing this. Like, hey, look what I did.
Yeah, but I mean, even
it's
so,
their
like
PR team saying, look what he did.
Even the average Joe why is it wrong that he's recording what he's doing? Even if you don't know why he can be recording it, just like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys seem like you're looking at it negatively.
No, I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
It can be so inspirational.
I'm saying if a person that records themselves doing a good deed and puts it on social media, goes against what I believe because it is bragging. It is a form of bragging in my opinion.
I don't think so, because you don't know what he's doing with that film. If he puts it on, if he's doing it to inspire, like, and that's just the biggest thing. If he's doing it to inspire,
well, there could be
I
another
did
way.
it so you can do it. Pass it on. I did it so you can do it. Pass it
on.
on.
Okay, let's bring it in. Let's say
what is that? What is that called? Pay it forward, right?
Pay it forward,
but don't broadcast it. That's all I'm saying. Like, if I were to say, like, hey guys, I'm rich. I got $2 million. All right. So is that bragging, or am I inspiring you?
Now, if you say, but that's not what we're talking about, though. It's not the same thing.
Well, I get,
and the reason why it's not the same thing is because you're not saying I'm rich. I have $2 million. I'm going to give $100,000 to these homeless
kids.
If
I came up to you and I started giving you $100 bills, and you were like,
I'll take that shit.
Okay, but wouldn't you be like, I don't know.
Why are you giving this to me?
Why are you giving this to me? And I'd be like, well, because I got $2 million.
That's a good answer. Okay, cool. Thank you.
But you don't need it. You're not a needy person. You know what I mean?
So do you mean me literally, or do you mean, because we're not talking about people who are not needy. We're talking about people who,
I don't know.
I feel like I'm in need.
I feel like I'm over-explaining to the point where I can see where my example is falling apart, but I don't think my example. I feel like I'm over-explaining.
Maybe we can retouch it some other time. I don't want. Yeah, because it can be misconstrued.
Yeah,
I have one example, and it's leading by action, right? So even just with coaching, it goes a lot more. It goes a lot further than just the actual sport, right? We do a lot in the community as well, and what we do is we make sure that our teams are involved heavily. So after the season, when I was coaching a couple years ago, I used to coach for Wilkinsburg High School. This is like right before it shut down. We only had like less than 15 kids on the team. It was pretty, but those kids were warriors though, right? But we tried to bring a lot of good deeds, and with like the foundations I was a part of and all the other coaches were a part of, we tried to bring a lot of good to the situation and have these kids, inspire these kids to do the same. So every Thanksgiving, we would go to a nursing home. I knew a guy who worked there, and he said, would you, and he used to actually invite me and my friends and my family to come and to volunteer and help serve the elderly. And one year I just said, you know what? Why don't we do this? I have a team of kids, and I can just talk to the head coach, and I would like them to do this because I lead by example. Mm-hmm. They see when they see me lead by example, and they see me do these type of they see me give back and pay it forward. It's going to inspire them to do the same. Yeah. And so for 2 years, I had those kids help me out, and They were because I was one of their biggest influences, and when they see me do that, they're like Coach Beck, you're amazing.
Now I was going to ask, what was their reaction?
They loved it.
Did they feel like they were being forced to do it?
No, they all volunteered to do it. I told them there's nothing you guys have to do. The season was far over. Well, but yeah, because we packed it in early both seasons, but at that time, opposed to me putting it on social media trying to inspire, I took the kids with me.
Yeah, that's good.
And showed them this is something I normally do. Mm-hmm. And I would like for you guys to get involved because if you can provide a helping hand to someone in life, do so.
Yeah.
I didn't put it. I never. And social media was around at this time. It's 2013, 2014. But I just never thought to put it on social media.
Would you have hesitated if you? Like, would you have put it on social media if you did? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I still do these type of things, and I still don't. I mean, it's just me. It's a me thing. I don't really feel the need to broadcast whenever I'm doing something good because I do a lot of good for people.
If I can inspire 25 people physically, and then those 25 people can inspire 25 more people, and those 25 can inspire 25 more, you know what I'm saying? If I can do that, why not? But I can do that all with one device and with one little film or with one little thing. I don't give a shit about all of the negative stuff because that's something that these people need to think about themselves. Well, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm doing it to inspire, then I don't have an issue with it.
Let me ask you
But
this.
I feel like we're beating this horse.
Yeah,
but
so-
continue real quick.
Well, just let me ask you this. So how many times have you done a good deed, posted it on social media, and then you seen on your timeline sometime around that same time frame that people have done the same?
People have done the same,
Or not the same exact deed, but
have done it.
You've influenced, like you were able to notice.
A perfect
that you
example would be
someone.
the ALS challenge. Yeah, it became trendy, but getting the awareness out there actually raised more money.
It did. So, but that's why I said I could see it from both sides. It's just that me is.
Oh
a
no,
preference.
yeah, I
I'm more
get
of a
what
humble
you guys are
individual.
saying.
Yeah.
I get what you guys are saying. I just don't want there to be a negative connotation to the point where it discourages.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
But
I just take it on a more personal level that is not something I would do. Like I said before, other people want to do that. I guess I can't comment on that.
okay, moving on.
So, I just read an article pertaining to this, but I just wanted to get you guys' idea on this whole friendsgiving, being that we're coming up on Thanksgiving here. Now, there's for different reasons.
Actually, by the time this is out,
It'll be the day after Thanksgiving.
No, we will
Ooh.
be past this. No, yeah,
It'll
you're
be
right.
Black Friday.
It'll be Black Friday.
It'll be Black Friday.
But I don't want to say it as in a certain way, but
I would prefer African American Friday, please.
But okay, so there could be friend. I get it and I understand it. Now this is a new thing for that I'm learning about.
Yeah,
right?
so tell me about it, because I've seen it twice online.
Yeah,
but I
how
don't know
old
what
did
it
you
is.
say it was? Like 7
It's
years?
about
I've never
6
even heard
years.
of it.
It's about 6 years old.
That's
and
crazy.
What it's been is, and they said that when I read this, and this is how I know it's more of the millennial generation who's started this. There's a lot. It's stemmed from a lot of individuals in their high 20s to low 30s. And what it is it's supposed to be celebrated a week before Thanksgiving, and as the end of the year it tends to get a little tense for people, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the year at work and things of that sort. People need some time to decompress, and so they use this as an additional opportunity to spend time with friends and loved ones, opposed to just the traditional Thanksgiving holiday. Now I understand it if you're like an individual and you can't, like say for instance I'm from Pittsburgh but I live in New York. I can't get home to see my family or anything like that for the holiday, but I get a chance to go in for the week before. Maybe coordinate some time with some of the friends. If some of my friends are, if we all agree that we're all going to be in town that week, if we're all branched out and we work different, cities or states, whatever it may be, I can understand trying to get together for that. But just doing it for just to do it, like, oh, Friendsgiving, like, and that taking more place and more precedence. Well, I don't think it'll ever take more precedence over Thanksgiving because I think people like to eat. But even when you look at Thanksgiving, sometimes to me it looks negative on people because some people aren't doing anything for other people on Thanksgiving. Like I said, I and this isn't to boast or brag, but I do a lot of volunteering on Thanksgiving. However, I want to host something as well. I sent you guys an invite for the family.
Yeah.
For the day after Thanksgiving to have a family
Like
over
you
my
don't
house or
know
so.
like you don't know Shannon goes Black Friday shopping.
I'm not. It'll be in the evening. Okay, Friday evening. Anyway,
Mike, hold on. Mike.
Why
am I so low? I'm like mad low.
But I've got to understand over the years how certain people are, right? You get some people who just want to show up to other people's homes and eat and then go to 4 or 5 homes and just collect plates, right? Ill intent. Mm-hmm. Then you have other people who want to take a dish to each house and show their love and their kindness, right? That's more of the individual I am. But like with Friendsgiving, I really don't know how to take it because it's new, and a lot of things that millennials do is just all off of impulse. It's by how I feel. It's not. I think a lot of it is pretty selfish. It's all about me, and how things can make me feel and how things can benefit me. But when you look at other people, like, are you going to Friendsgiving? Are you showing up with something? Or is it just, oh, we're just going to have a party tonight? Like, because it's kind of like the ugly sweater parties. Like, now they've gotten so big, it's just like a party. It's just like an additional time to throw a party. So is this, I don't know. How you guys feel about that?
I love ugly sweater parties, if that's what you're asking.
I mean, ugly sweater parties are a good time. But how do you guys feel about this whole Friendsgiving thing?
So you're saying to you Thanksgiving is family oriented.
I think it could be family and friends. However, Friendsgiving is its own separate holiday that's designated to be a week prior to Thanksgiving. So maybe that Thursday or that Friday prior to the week before Thanksgiving.
So what's the problem?
I'm at how do you feel about it? Like because this is a millennial thing that's raised up, and I know that you and I try not to identify with millennials, even though we
technically,
are. But I think that a lot
don't do that smug laugh, Double D.
He's having the time of his life. He's like, ha ha ha.
But I mean, like, technically we are millennials, and I don't. What's the problem with it? Like going out with your friends and like having a designated day to go out and have a good time with your friends.
No, that's not what it's for.
That's not?
It's supposed to mimic Thanksgiving, so it's to have dinner and it's like to have a feast. It's a pre-Thanksgiving.
So if that's the case, you do this for Friendsgiving and then you can spend Thanksgiving with your family. What would be the issue with that, since Thanksgiving is family oriented?
I'm just saying that there's a lot of people that have ill intentions, since being that we're talking about intentions. And it could be a time to where it's just like, oh shit, well, Catherine says she's cooking, so Friendsgiving, I'm taking a box. But this is the same thing we were talking about before. You're saying basically, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. When I look at it, I can look at it one of two ways. I can look at it as, okay, well, like I mentioned, if you're an individual, you don't have a lot of family, you have friends around and stuff like that, you guys want to coordinate something, I love it for the fact of that, right? But if you're just doing it like, oh, it's another party, Friendsgiving this year, what you guys doing for Friendsgiving? Hanging out. Woo!
Hey, what's up? It's Remorseless from the EMP Network. We here at the network would like to thank you for listening. And if you like what you hear, share it, with a friend, a coworker, anybody you would think that would like it. Hell, even anybody that you would think wouldn't like it if you can stand talking to them. Follow us on social media platforms like Facebook, EMP Network, Instagram, EMP Network 412, no spaces, all lowercase, and Twitter @network_EMP. YouTube is under construction, but we'll have that soon. The point is, we want to hear from you. And if it doesn't take too much time out of your day, give us a review, good or bad. We look at all of these as a chance to learn and grow. We have a lot more planned in the future, but we cannot do it without your help. So please, if you think that we're worth it, leave a comment, give a review, and most importantly, share. Thank you for listening.
Slapsgiving.
Yes.
I don't know.
Slapsgiving. I don't know. I mean, I don't see an issue with it.
Subject.
If it's a party, it's a party. So what? Like it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, you're going out, you're hanging with your friends. I mean, it can be a regular Saturday. Like it's you can buy stuff, you can cook. I mean, it's just another event with your friends. But honestly, I think it can be a good thing.
Yeah.
Because now that you celebrated everything with your friends, you can go out and you can go and spend that Thanksgiving Day with your family and actually have a good time, and you don't have to worry about leaving early because Joey's throwing a party over his mom's house because his mom is out of town.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, Joey got he got Zimas. Joey got Zimas. Everybody, let's go ahead.
All right.
It doesn't. So I don't really see an issue with it. Like. It can mimic whatever the fuck it wants to, and and here's the thing: you're saying people are going there grabbing plate by plate. I was the guy that went to house to grab plate by plate, and shit. I mean, if I actually felt like leaving the house, I would still do it. But that doesn't matter, or it doesn't make a difference, because that's the reason why people cook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
just like if you come over my house, you can grab a plate.
I get that, and it's never a problem. Like, I'm not saying that that's a problem. What I'm saying is, as you get older and you start to develop more of a conscience about things, you want to do right and do good for others. So
what is wrong with this?
My like, if I ever go over family's house, my intention isn't just to go over and grab a plate. You know what I mean? It's never been that. It's always just to spend time. I'll bring whatever I need to bring. Don't bring nothing. Fuck you, I'm bringing something. That's just me. You understand? Like, but there is some people I'd be like, man, you just, all right, man, you show up late as fuck. You just want to come over and get a plate. You gonna go to the next house, then the next house. That's inconsiderate, man. Sorry.
Sounds like him every podcast recording. show up late every day.
I don't go to everyone's house to get a plate.
Except he doesn't bring food.
Yeah, no, he
Unless
does. He
it's
eats it
for
by himself.
He eats on teriyaki wings.
I guess I'm a
Okay,
hypocrite
so
then.
if you want the contrarian view,
I'm listening.
you want the cynical view, I am here as always.
The grumpy
to provide
young
it
man.
for you. So, like many other millennial things, I inherently
Hold on,
am against this.
before he starts, he has such a smug fucking look on his
He's
face
ready to-
because
he's
we
ready to-
admitted that we were millennials.
He's ready to give it.
He's not going
Oh,
to
yeah,
survive this recording.
I'm ready. I'm just ready to go. So yeah, like many millennial things, I do see, like I think you mentioned, Art, that this a thing with millennials. It's very me centered, and we can look at that as a generational thing, or we can look at it as millennials are still fairly young. Okay, whether millennials will stay like that their entire life, I mean, time will only tell. Okay, so whether they're inherently just a me generation or whether it's because they're still young, time will tell. But I see also a trend with millennials is going further away from family and getting married.
I see that.
And it's more of a staying a single and staying with friends.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, how I was at 20 or so. Like, I mean, I'm kind of a bad example.
that
I got,
refusal to grow up, basically.
yeah, I got married and had kids like starting at 21, so I'm a bad example. But I mean, my friends were still like that, and like millennials are carrying that through into their 30s, staying single,
Unmarried, no children.
Yep. So I just kind of inherently want to push back against that because
Easy.
I am pro family, pro marriage.
You should live long and multiply. man.
Pro-choice.
So Thanksgiving should be about family, and I don't like that attention is being taken away from that.
From that to create something else.
Yeah.
Because everything
but
that
hold
I
on.
feel millennials do, like I said, it's a self-centered thing.
Yes.
It's about me.
I agree.
How can I make this how can I make this way?
I can't
How can
believe
I
you
make
guys
this more
have me-
convenient for myself? How can I do X, Y,
Right,
Z?
right.
And that's the problem I have with
I can't believe you guys have me arguing for millennials on this fucking
it. No,
episode.
so this
All right,
is
so
good
listen,
though.
hold
This
on,
is good.
stop. But the thing is, it can also be a holiday that is created for millennials to get those bugs out of their system so they can spend Thanksgiving
They
with
should
their
have got
family.
those bugs out
They
of their
have a
system
fucking
by now.
holiday. It's called Sunday Fun Day.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, they've created that
that?
shit too. Where like, have you not seen where people don't go out that much on Fridays? They go out Saturday and Sunday before they go to work, and they go to work all hungover and shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
What the fuck
especially
are you
here.
talking
I
about?
promise you, Southside is like lit on fucking Sunday.
Anyway,
Oh,
so
jeez.
what I'm saying is like okay, so you're spending more time with your family on Thanksgiving because you spent a lot of time the previous week before with your friends. You spent that Thanksgiving with your friends, and then you spend your family's Thanksgiving with your family. What exactly is the issue? You guys are contradicting yourself saying that Thanksgiving is for family because what you're saying is these millennials are spending time with their family, but they have another Thanksgiving a week ahead. So the fuck what?
I'm just
who's
saying
to
it's-
say that they're
I'm just saying
having
it's time to grow up. Like as you get older, you spend less time with your friends. You even have less friends than you did when you were 20. I just think that millennials as a generation are a little stunted, arrested development in their developing as
okay,
an
so
adult.
you're not necessarily talking about just millennials in general. Can you please move those action figures, Art, because they're in my sight.
I'm
and
not
that was
going to
a-
do it at this point. Like right now at this time, let's proceed with the conversation.
Focus.
I can't focus because you have these two action figures fucking each other on my dresser.
It's for his new YouTube show on teaching children
Teaching children
It's sex.
procreation.
Yeah, it's
But
it's sex awareness. It's
well, that's on every
So-
TV show now.
do they,
But
do they
anyway,
stack their dolls like that?
But anyway, like I don't pertaining to this in general, like pertaining to this, I mean, not in general, in particular, this friendsgiving, I don't really see an issue with it. Like you're contradicting yourself, saying, well, Thanksgiving should be for family, so these millennials should be at Thanksgiving with family. Yeah, they are at Thanksgiving with family. That's the reason why they have Friendsgiving, so they can spend it with their friends.
You sound like a fucking millennial. That's what you sound like right now.
Because you got me arguing for these fuckers.
No, because what I'm saying is you don't. Look, this is what
but
there's
more saying, than one perspective to
what we're
this.
saying is now this thing they said over the last, and I have some notes here. I think since 2014, this thing has become big. So back in 2000, from the time of I think it was 2004 to 2012, it was like recorded there were no virtual like Google hits on this. But ever since 2014, 96,000 records, whether post or whatever it may be. What does that have to do
with the price of tea in China?
All I'm saying is that millennials are always looking to create and push initiatives for themselves, for their own self. It doesn't matter about the elderly. It doesn't matter about the rest of the American people. It's only for me and the people who are just like me. That's it.
Okay.
And I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Now, not everyone has family, so I understand that. You can spend time with friends on Thanksgiving, right? If you're out of town or something like that, you go to dinner, you don't have family around or whatever it may be, but we have to create another fucking holiday for you to have time with your friends to call it something else because it's something that you want to do.
I'm still failing to see the issue.
I don't know. No. It's not an issue. I'm just saying it's another notch on the belt for millennials and for what it is that they are always trying to do with changing culture and trying to get their fucking ways.
I'm not disagreeing with you. This is 100% selfish. It is, but I don't really see it. I don't really see it destroying tradition because I mean you're still spending Thanksgiving with your family.
Yeah, I mean it's not. It's just I don't know. I'm sorry. Next subject. Oh, this segues right into Black Friday. Okay, Black Friday madness. I just wanted to get you guys' opinion. I think it's stupid. I've always thought it was stupid.
What, shopping Black Friday?
Hell yeah.
I hate it.
I may shop online. Maybe grab something
Cyber
I know
Monday.
Or even that, yeah, right? Or, I mean, there's deals for Black Friday all the way through the weekend and Cyber Monday.
I definitely shop online a lot, but I have been to Black Friday shopping. It is a little hectic,
obnoxious.
but at the same time, those deals be right.
See, I just watch the videos online, and it just, I mean, I don't think that it's funny. I think it's sad. I think it represents the worst of humanity.
Here's my problem with that. A lot of Black Friday shopping isn't like that. It's legitimately like, have you ever went?
No.
It's not chaotic, but it's so packed.
It's definitely packed, but it's not as chaotic. It doesn't have people fighting and snatching shit out of carts and different things.
It's not
a lot of Black Friday shopping is not like it's really not. It's really not like that.
It's not all unruly.
It's just crowded as fuck. The traffic is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. But that shows first dibs on shit.
It shows a lot as a country as how we are as consumers. That's what it does.
But we've already said if it bleeds, it leads.
But that's what this country was built on. Like our country, if you look at the way we're in trillions of dollars of a deficit, just as a whole. But then now you look at the micro scale of it, and you look at just personal consumers in so much debt, right?
Where are
and that's
you going
what
with this.
All I'm saying is just that it's a way to finagle people to kick money back into the fucking economy.
Which is a good thing, though, right?
It can't.
People spending money should help the economy.
Yeah, but it's not even
that person. Republican of you.
Right? No, I understand on a micro scale. If you're going into debt because of it,
but
that's not a good thing.
Not even that. Like I just look at because I read a lot about the economy stuff like that. But even just like the personal household savings rate. My mom cannot save money for shit. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for her pension and her retirement, then she would be assed out.
Your mom was also raised on survival.
She spends so much, but she spends so much money on like minuscule things. And it's just, I got to deal with Black Friday, but you don't need these things. You're just spending money. I'd rather save that money and put it away.
His mom does. She really has a lot of shit that she doesn't need.
And to be like on the contrary, and like, so basically what I did to spite her was studied economics in college.
Oh, wow.
Ain't that crazy as shit? So everything she talks about, I'm like the arch nemesis. Like,
But see, here's the
so you
thing.
can
But here's the
retort back to
thing. You cut off your nose to spite your face. You really didn't spite her because you're not changing shit about how she thinks. It's just annoying you even more because you know even more.
No, I think you're getting a pretty good career out of it, aren't you? Yeah. So there you go.
So what is this? I don't understand. I guess you guys just keep washing each other's hands.
Wow.
You've never heard that before?
That's
No,
a,
I did.
that's a
It's
true
just weird
saying.
context.
I've never heard
No,
that.
it's not. You guys keep washing each other's hands.
You wash your mother's hands?
If my mom needed her hands washed, I would wash them. Just like if I needed my hands washed, she would wash mine. You wash each other's hands. You help each other out. She keeps you paid because of her bad spending habits, and
No, she keeps retailers paid.
yeah, but she keeps you paid too because the reason why you joined economics is because of her bad spending habit.
Yeah. I mean, any job would have probably kept me paid though. I didn't need to take
But I mean,
econ.
you probably may not have made the money that you make now. You don't know. You don't know what happened.
yeah,
you don't know what'll happen.
I really
you don't know. You don't know.
All I'm saying is
Sound like
that
a cat getting raped.
I think that when it comes to Black Friday, go out, shop, get good deals, whatever it may be, but don't let it change who you are as an individual. Like for that fucking day, like.
I wish we had
people are like.
I wish we had merch so that we could sell it on Black Friday and we could just
sad.
plug it.
This fucking guy is. Why are you Gandhi today?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
You
Like, why are you the Dalai Lama?
I'll relax. We can proceed. I just wanted to bring those two things up. I had a
Don't
problem
change
with them.
who you are for a day because you're going Black Friday shopping. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's to the point where
No,
I can't even
I
call
get
my mother to check up on. She's 68. I can't even call her to check up on her Black Friday. She doesn't even answer her phone. That's the madness and the
That's
craziness
because
that
she's
people
busy. Don't
She's
fucking
gonna
look at
get
me like that. She's
trampled.
busy.
busy getting trampled.
She won't. No, she won't.
Oh no.
She's powerful.
Okay.
She's not even powerful.
she-
She's just a presence.
She's yay this big. Yeah, she's this
She's
big.
only like 4'6".
She's 5'4".
I love you, auntie.
She's tiny, but she's
she's just a
powerful.
presence. She's
Yeah.
just around, and she'll fuck somebody's shit all the way up.
You know how you like see someone's aura, and it's like
She has a presence.
it's like-
she has a very
it's
strong
something.
presence.
Yeah.
She's
it's like
amazing.
radiant. It's like
Yeah.
you can feel the heat.
Wow.
She
Okay. Very nice.
She excretes like strength. I meant to say exude. She exudes
Exudes, yes.
strength.
That sounds so nasty.
She
to
should
me at
probably
first.
see a doctor.
Yo, the energy.
I don't even know if that's a word.
The evening
Excretes,
energy
yeah.
is
Oh, it is?
crazy.
Okay.
Excretes
That's like
is-
whenever your
you didn't know
herpes excretes pus. It's kind of like that.
about that would be.
Well, I just learned something new today. I guess.
You didn't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that was.
this evening energy is crazy.
It is. It's
Moving
all
on.
natural. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to get you guys' opinion on this. So there is, you guys familiar with Title IX? Title IX is the action that maybe you can better describe it, Art.
So from how I understand
Yeah.
Title IX is that they basically I'm going to take it more down the sports road. And with collegiate sports, they have to have the same amount of male sports as female sports. Mm-hmm. So if there was any type of incident to where you had male track and there was a female sport that was lacking, they will pull that program to create a program for the female sport to have the equal amount. That from Title IX, that's what I understand it to be.
Okay, yeah. So I that's what I understood it to be. This is an article from CNN about Betsy DeVos proposing changes to Title IX, which before this, I like you, thought it was just about sports, but I guess it encompasses a whole range of things for schools. But these proposed changes that she's proposing is to the definition of sexual assault. Sorry, I'm trying to read the article here and get my thoughts together while talking to you. So she wants to narrow the definition of sexual assault for what happens on a campus. Okay, it says unwelcome. Okay. Sorry, that's my alarm. I'm usually just waking up right about now.
I thought that was like the theme, like the lead song that comes in at the beginning of Beaches with like Bette Midler.
We know you know Beaches.
I love Beaches.
Okay, so this article, which is very, very slanted to one way, and it even says at the beginning, this is just the author's opinion. I think it's very, very slanted one way. But it says the narrowing of the longstanding definition of sexual harassment, unwelcome conduct of sexual nature. And she wants to change that to include only behavior that is severe, pervasive, and objectively offensive. Okay, so, and also she wants to limit it to what happens on the campus, as opposed to the way this person that writes this article says they just think that anything that happens anywhere, if you're a student, should be the school's fault. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I just want to get you guys' thoughts on this. What do you think about narrowing the definition and limiting it to only the campus? So obviously that alleviates the school of anything that happens in a nearby bar or online.
So with me going to a relatively large university that was like more I would say structurally it was more of a town, and like the school wasn't like the town encompassed the school, like not the other way around.
Yeah.
So there were things that could have taken place off campus, like maybe 2 blocks away, and if that was to fall on the school, I mean, I think that's a little unfair. Mm-hmm. So I think it does need to probably be within the realms of what the actual campus is. There needs to be a defined outline as to what the parameters are around the campus. And what was the other part that you mentioned?
Narrowing the definition to sorry, I'm trying to bring it back up, to making it from unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature, to including that definition plus only behavior that is severe, pervasive, and objectively offensive. So my understanding of that is, obviously, if I go up to a woman and I don't know this woman, and I hit on her, mm-hmm. I don't know whether it's wanted or unwanted until I go up to her and...
Yeah, what is objectively offensive?
Yeah,
so it could be unwanted just because she doesn't like me.
That's tough, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean the broad definition of it just being unwanted, I mean, that is so broad.
That is broad.
Art, when you lure kids into your van, when you're into your ice cream truck...
Stop it.
The ice cream man.
Is it objectively... How exactly?
I don't think kids want any of that.
Stop.
They just want ice cream.
Well, now that I think about it, it's like I kind of do agree on narrowing it down. Basically to decipher what we're going to consider a sexual, what's sexually sexual misconduct, what's some sort of sexual crime on someone. I think, yeah, like you said, if I walk up to a woman and I'm like, "Hey, babe, what's up?" like that, and she turns me down, she can be irritated just by the fact that I came up to her, and then now that's sexual misconduct.
Right.
You know, that's sexual harassment.
I guess in summation, you're saying it needs to be specific?
It needs to be specific. It needs to be evasive, just like you said. I think it needs to be defined. I think it has to be an act of ill intent. Mm-hmm.
So going back to intentions.
Do we keep talking about intentions?
So
wave, baby.
Another part of this,
but you can't prove intentions.
You can if I decide to, like, oh man, look at those jugs right there. Wish I had my tongue between them.
But what if you're just around? You know,
but that's what I'm saying.
And you're always around. They don't know. Like, what if she leaves the bar and goes to a party, and then you end up going to that same party, and she just notices you. You said something to her at a bar, right? And she leaves the bar, goes to the party, and then you end up at that party, you know. And then there's a dorm party that she goes to, and you end up at that dorm party. Now she
All by
may think that
coincidence?
by coincidence because I mean it's college.
Yeah, but it
Right.
still has to be
So
a little bit more
this-
deliberate than that. I mean,
So
No,
this,
but
this
that's
is
the
where
thing.
intention
You don't-
matters.
You don't have to be more deliberate than that, and the reason why is because of this quote unquote objective shit that they're talking about. Like, and this is, you're right, this is where intention matters, but this is where intention can be misinterpreted. That's why intention doesn't matter. That's why actions matter more than intention.
No, because like you were saying, if you just happen to go to the same parties, she could take that as sexual harassment or stalking.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, your intent is, dude, I
That's
didn't
the
even know
why,
you were
but
here.
But the problem is you can't
So
prove
how are you
intent.
going to? But I'm saying, do you think that's just and fair that you would get in trouble with the law in that situation?
I would think you can't prove intent. Because I could just say, dude, I was at those fucking parties. They're the both 3 rockin'est parties on campus just because she was there and I asked her
You
out.
would get arrested
I
for
asked her
saying
for-
rockiness.
I like that. I like
Idiot,
that.
Shut the fuck
So
up.
let me read some more of this
Rockiness.
because I think you're really going to
Rockiness.
love this here. So Bessie DeVos suggests that a 14-year-old student who feels uncomfortable due to a suggestive comment by her teacher is not being harassed. So the way it currently is now, that somebody can feel like they're being harassed just because their teacher says something offensive that they find offensive,
Yeah.
right?
And yeah, so that's why I said that's tough.
Wait, they feel harassed because they say offensive how? Like,
But it doesn't matter. Anything you find offensive.
so like if they're like, well, you're failing this class, that's harassment?
Under this broad definition,
That's why
it is.
that's why
Fuck
they're trying to
that.
narrow
No,
it down.
Yeah, narrow down.
that's why it needs
that's-
narrowed down.
That doesn't even make sense. But see, and
A
that's
lot
the
of it
but that's
doesn't.
the problem. If you think about it now, and I'm going to go on a tangent, so bear with me. If you think about it now, you can't even give constructive criticism.
In the
You
classroom?
can't give to anybody to anywhere about anything. When you give constructive criticism, you're either a hater, you're
trying to demean someone.
you're trying to demean somebody, you're bullying them, like all kind of
Yeah.
bullshit instead of just giving literal constructive criticism.
And that's what our society's been fucked up by millennials who's created all this shit.
Yeah, I agree.
And now it's so hard to identify what's real and what's not. That's why I feel that it needs to be taken more at a granular level, and you have to decipher if it was evasive or not. You know, like it needs to be deliberate.
But see, and my
if you
problem
can-
with that, the only issue I have with that, sorry to cut you off, but the only issue I have with that is what I said before. You can't prove intent.
I mean,
So, but you're arguing against yourself, I think, in that.
I mean, yeah. I am because I'm just jumping back and forth on the spectrum.
Okay.
Like I'm just
Trying
looking
to
at
argue
it
both
as
sides.
I'm looking at it as such a wide or broad, like as a wide broad subject. Like I'm trying to jump back and forth to try to find both perspectives.
but I think that's her point, though. Like you can't. I think that's her point. Like you can't argue intent because, and that's probably why there's some people getting locked away for this shit. So it has to be more deliberate. And this is what I mean by
Okay,
intent.
so is she
Hey,
for is she
Stacey,
for
that's-
narrowing it down?
Yeah,
or-
that's what
Yes.
she's for.
See, I also came in late. Remember, I had to go piss.
Pause. Ugh, that's double pause. But that's like, yeah, Stacey, that's beautiful ass meat you have hanging from those shorts right there. That's sexual harassment.
Absolutely.
That's
Right,
ill intent
right.
right there.
But if you
That's
say
your regular
but if
Tuesday.
you say
Beautiful today.
Stacy, you look beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. You look beautiful today.
I mean, the game has changed. You can't even probably say that. I
Yeah,
mean,
she'll
Right,
oh,
right.
why do I have to look beautiful today? I can't look beautiful every day. I'm
You're-
always beautiful.
you're objectifying women.
objectifying women.
Oh
Like,
my goodness.
All right, bitch, listen. Now I'm objectifying you.
No, don't do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to go there.
no, we do not.
He
endorse that.
apologizes.
About to give her these bars, Stacy.
I think
The
you're
fuck's
going to
wrong
be
with you?
behind bars. Keep that up.
But yeah, it needs to be
No, but see, that's the thing.
set
Like,
straight.
I don't know because I compliment women and they just take it as a compliment.
I don't compliment any woman.
But I'm like, hi, you look nice.
Nope.
That's what I say.
See,
Won't do it.
I would love to, and I always have because I'd like to make people feel good, not physically. This came out wrong.
There was no way that you were going to
There was
bail out of that.
no way.
Any way.
No way.
You just turned it.
Had
You
to
should have
stop.
just kept this game going. Like,
Trying to make a hard right turn. Listen, I like people to feel good. Okay. So giving compliments should not be viewed as sexual harassment if the intent is genuine and pure. Now, I think it's getting misconstrued because, I mean, let's face it, you can straight up tell when somebody's being derisive or being offensive.
And the funny thing about that, when you were talking about intent, and you know how I hate it, like, even if the intent, if the intent is unpure or if the intent isn't good, you would know because the actions are followed.
Exactly.
The actions are either preceded or they're followed, correct?
What do you mean?
From
the other
somebody's
person?
going to walk up to, you look good, girl. You know what I'm saying? Now that, I can walk up to a woman and say, "Oh, you look good, girl." You know, and she'll be like, "Oh, thank you," and then somebody else can be like, "You look good, girl."
Yeah, that's creepy as fuck, dude.
That's creepy. And he's like, he has the snake neck. He looks like Kaa from the Jungle Book. And those are the actions. It's not even it's the demeanor that he's displaying,
right?
That's not even intentions, that's actions.
So
granted, it is intent, but what's really
how it manifests.
Exactly,
I think it's how intent manifests.
Exactly.
Okay, so a woman can, I think it gets taken way out of hand whenever it is so obvious that anybody can tell whether you're trying to be offensive or not. Mm-hmm. But I feel like some people are just taking and throwing that out the window.
They're gassing it up.
Yeah.
But this is my thing. I'm afraid about this. The people who don't know they're gassing it. Like they're just like that reserved and that on edge to where they really consider you as a threat to society or a problem.
Yeah.
Who has ill intentions.
That can be one of two people. That can be somebody who's actually been through a traumatic thing, or somebody that's actually believing the bullshit that goes on. You know what I'm saying?
That's going on in society right now.
Yeah, that's going on in society.
Okay, so let's say it was
22.
Let's say it was somebody that was that's been attacked before, sexually attacked. So they've been traumatized. You come up and you don't know. You're just coming up. You go to hit on a woman, and you get that reaction. Okay. And then you're like, okay, my bad. I'll leave because I don't want any part of this, or
and
I'm
should
sorry.
Not get in trouble about that.
Yeah, you shouldn't. But there's no reason for her to continue and try to get you in trouble, or to try I want your job now. How dare you? I want you to be fired, or this and that.
That's like the grizzly bear and the fish with the honey on it.
Yeah,
you
love that.
Yeah,
we know
the grizzly bear's like, he's at work. He's like, fish, honey. And she's just swimming with her honey on her, and he's like, But then, as soon as he says something, you know what I mean? Oh, human resources.
So, how do you feel about men and women working together?
I don't think it's a problem, man. I'm like real huge on like the EEOC thing, because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, you only got your position because you're black, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever, Mm-hmm. But then I'm. Yeah, well, but I mean, I feel the same about women. There's a lot of women that are talking about that they don't get a fair shot in the job market and things of that sort. So I think it needs to be equal. Mm-hmm. And I have no problem with working with women. I just know what and what not to do. I'm not going to comment on anything. Don't ask me any personal. First off, I'm one of those people who's like really like sacred at work anyway. I'm like really kept to myself.
Right.
Don't ask me
unless he's impregnating you.
Ah, he's stupid. But even with women, don't ask me about a relationship if I'm in one. Don't ask me any personal questions. Just keep it strictly.
See, I'm the same way at work. And remorseless, you said something about something today at work, and I was like, dude, not at work. And honestly, that's the way I am. I don't fool around. Is obviously like this. Work is work, and especially dating at work. I've done it before in the past, but I've learned my lessons. That you keep those two things separate. Even if you find someone attractive. No, that's 100%. That's like your boy's sister or something. That's just hands off.
The funny thing is, I've learned my lesson on that too. But I mean, I met my wife at my job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Unfortunately.
So it's I don't have a problem either working with women. I mean, it's completely normal.
Double D has a problem working with anybody.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine working with all guys. Like that's like going to like a all boys school. Like I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I never really thought about it, but I'm used to working with
were you
women
afraid to
and-
cross
and-
You know what? Now that you bring that up,
Shut up.
now that you bring that up, that's a good point. It gives a like kind of a different feel, a softer edge to it.
Yeah.
I mean, but there are those points where guys congregate and guys.
You know what's funny? You guys are kind of complimenting the fact that
Wait, what do
women
you
are into
mean,
work.
you guys?
Whoa, pump the brakes, buddy.
You guys are complimenting the fact that how good it is working with women, but if it really came down to it, like just by the adjectives you're using, like softer, different feeling and different things like that, like it'll be like, oh well, this is this is what is it?
Toxic
This is
masculinity.
toxic masculinity.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. I mean, we're not talking about work. We're not talking about like your work ethic. We're not talking about that. Like,
No, it's just men and women are different.
Yeah.
I say it time
we share
and time
different
again.
interests in I mean,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We share different interests than women. So I mean, and I think we have a different brand of humor too. So like
yeah.
I was about to say, when guys get together and we start joking, and be like, start making like pause jokes.
Do you find women funny?
girlfriends
truth.
love those. They love pause jokes. They can never understand what the fuck is going on.
They
So-
always have terrible timing with pause. My wife is good at pause jokes, but she's literally the only one I've ever met.
So I was gonna say that I was talking to my son last week or so, and he was talking about one of his buddies, and I'm like, yeah, why didn't you just punch him to get him to? He was saying something, and I was like, dude, just punch him in the arm. Because guys roughhouse, that's what we do.
Yeah.
My daughter was in the room, and she's like, don't punch him. No, don't punch him. Because, like, in her mind, she sees punching someone as, like,
She
knocking
thought
him
you
out.
legitimately meant like beat his ass.
Yeah, like you're mad at them. I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's what guys do. Even guys that are friends, like, we roughhouse. We punch each other in the arm.
You're like showing
that.
them moves on the punching bag, on the heavy bag. You're like 1, 2, slip.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, so that there right there shows the difference between males and females.
And it's a lifelong thing. I mean, we're always and forever going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
We may side with each other, we may argue with each other, but we're going to forever be different when it comes to mentality.
Yeah,
when it comes
absolutely.
to interests, when it comes to pragmatics, we are going to look at things from two completely different opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
As men and women, but opposites attract, and that's how I'm here. That's how we're all
exactly.
sitting in this room.
Exactly.
Because there was some
That's
pee,
how
pee-
here is crazy.
That's crazy. There was P put in Vg, and that's how we're here.
You should definitely teach us.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. No, but I agree with you guys. Like, I do think there should be some specificity. Yeah, it's not easy. Specificity. Is it specificity? Specificity.
That's the wrong way.
Specificity.
That's the wrong one.
Specificity.
Is it specificity? Specificity?
Google. We don't even know how to say it, so we can't even ask her.
That is crazy.
Fucked up.
Use her as the thesaurus.
Specificity.
Oh, what about this? I hate it when I couldn't spell a word.
Nobody asked you.
My mom would say, "Go look it up in the thesaurus." I'm like, "How the fuck am I going to look it up and I don't know how to spell the shit? What are you talking about?"
I used to always. That's actually why I have a decent sized vocabulary, because I would say, "How do you spell this?" And like, I would have to look it up, or
So you had to
like
find it.
I would have to find it. I would have to find it, be able to pronounce it,
Understand
what the definition was, and I
And the
hate when
word's
it's-
origin.
I hate when it's like, I hate when it's something like specification, because if you look up,
There you go.
if you look up no, but I was saying specificity, but but if you look up,
Still not right.
But if you look up specification, the definition says being a form of being specific.
I hated that. I hated
Which is
that.
ironic because it's not specific at all.
Not at all. It's
And
the
I'm
most
like,
general term that you can
Are
find.
you fucking kidding me?
So, well, I mean, struggle, that's good whenever you had to look it up and you don't know how to spell it, because struggle makes you a better person.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it any less annoying.
Sometimes
No,
when
not
you're
at all.
sometimes when you're writing a paper, that time that you just devoted towards finding what this word meant and how it was spelt was like, you know what, fuck this paper.
Do you ever just kind of
you
like
gotta keep in mind,
you scribble through it because you don't know how to
what-
spell?
You know what I used to do? I used to think of a word, and if I don't know how to spell it, I would think of the synonym for it.
Which was
there
good.
you go.
Yeah,
Write down
that's
the
a good
synonym.
alternative. Hey, what about cursive? Does anyone do it anymore besides
No.
on like signing
Signature.
checks and
Signature.
things of that sort?
You know
I
what?
haven't written cursive since I had to write cursive.
Me too.
I
They didn't even teach it anymore.
I don't know.
Yes. My daughter's learning it now.
That's crazy because that's one of those things that you hear get passed around.
It's
and I
like
don't know
Latin.
if it's bullshit or not.
Yeah, it's like Latin. You can't some schools learn, some schools teach Latin, some schools don't.
Speak Pig
Yeah.
Latin.
Ukfe uye.
That's Pig Latin,
arte.
motherfucker.
He
Get
said
out of
speak,
here.
He said speak Pig Latin.
Yeah, I just don't speak Pig Latin.
Oh, I thought you said speak Latin. And he's
If he spoke Latin,
Contigo
he would be
ergo
fucking
sum.
every woman in this city.
I just did. Contigo ergo sum.
You just fucked every woman in
Cognito.
this
It
city?
means I think because I am.
it's cognito ergo.
Okay,
sum.
you got that from fucking Rosetta Stone.
I got it from my arm.
So you know what? That's a good point. My mother and my uncle.
I got more Latin on my arm too.
They were taught Latin, and that's something that you say schools. Some schools still do.
Some
teach
schools
Latin?
teach it, some schools don't.
Really?
I wish they did.
It's
So, like, is it an alternative to like Spanish or
No,
French or
no.
German?
The
No,
thing
it's
about
in
Latin
addition
is
to.
it is that language. Like Latin. Latin is a
El
root
raton.
language. It is a root language. There's so many languages: Spanish, Italian, English. All of these languages
English.
come from
French though.
French. Sorry, all of these languages come from Latin.
So that's why they have that Latin definition
Exactly.
in a dictionary next to
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, so if you know the root word of the Latin, you can pretty much decipher the word in, like he said, in Spanish or French or Italian or
exactly.
Portuguese.
I think
Like that's
French-
why it was so easy for me in school to learn French because I knew Spanish.
French just sounds so like I took Spanish, but like French sounds just like super sexy.
It
And you can make
It does,
everything
It
sound
does.
sexy. Like if you have to go to the bath, I don't even know if this is the word, but you'd be like, oui, pool, pool.
Yes, poo poo is what you just said.
Yeah. and that didn't even sound sexy. Ho ho ho. We.
I have to take a shit. You find that sexy? All right.
Pulse on. Like that's fish.
My thing is the Z. I don't even know what language this is, but when they go,
That sounds like Arabic or something, dude.
I've
I've never heard that language in my life.
You've never heard that? With, like when they're stumped, they're just like like basically I'd be like you know what I'm talking about, but they'd be like
You know, I remember being confused because my aunt growing up, she was from France. So after her and my uncle got divorced, she took the two kids and they moved back to outside of Paris, and they grew up partly there and partly here. But I just remember thinking as a young kid, I would hear them talk or hear her talk, and she would do kind of the same thing. She was like, and I was like, I asked my mom, like, why does she always do
all
that?
the time. Yeah, I
it-
see in movies. Like,
Yeah, and she's like, well, that's just like when Americans say like
Yeah.
You're just trying to think of a word, but it just
Was she
sticks out in my
speaking-
mind.
Was she speaking
funny.
French
Told
or
you.
English?
Yeah, French.
When
See?
she spoke French, she stuttered like that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's not really a stutter. It's
No,
just,
that's technically a stutter.
Oh, really?
Just like saying or just like repeating your word. That's
Well,
all
I
of those.
know.
All of those are considered stutters.
Oh wow, just learned something new today.
well, how about that shit?
All right, moving on. I mean, we can wrap up now. Pause.
Yo, wrap that shit up, B.
Man, I'm Cuban, B. Yes, Cuban B.
This evening energy is crazy.
You
man.
feel it? You feel
we
it?
Need to, we need
feeling
to do this again. We need to do this again
like
one day.
this.
Like I do enjoy the evening energy. We got to fill up the bank anyway.
It breaks up the monotony, you know.
Yeah. Like this was these episodes were crazy. But
Hilarious.
so My recommendation. Oh no, I'm not going first. I went first last time. Double D, it's on you.
All right, so my recommendation is a special on Netflix. It is called Sacrifice. It's by Darren Brown. Darren Brown is an illusionist and a stage magician from over in England. I've been following and watching his stage shows for quite a few years. I'm a huge fan of Darren Brown. He is so good, and the psychological tactics that he uses are just phenomenal. But these last couple shows that he has is, like this one in particular, Sacrifice on Netflix, is he takes an individual who is has a prejudice towards immigrants, illegal immigrants here in America. And what he does is he sets up this whole scenario filled with actors and everything. And everybody in the show is an actor except for this one guy, Phil. And he takes this guy on a journey to where it culminates in a scene at the end where he has to make a choice whether he will take a bullet for an illegal immigrant. Will he step in front of someone that he is ideologically on the other side of? So it is just fantastic. And like I said, everybody but this guy, Phil, is an actor. So his reactions and his transformation is 100% genuine. And it's just a really good watch. I highly recommend it.
And this is on Netflix?
It's on Netflix,
What's it called again? I'm sorry.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Okay.
Yeah.
Smooth.
And hold on, so everybody's an actor except for him, and they're just analyzing how he reacts?
It's kind of like a psychological experiment. So Darren Brown puts him in a situation that it's like the Truman Show.
Okay.
It's a world completely fabricated for this guy.
Is it like reality TV, or is it a show?
No,
or?
it's a show that's documenting this guy's journey.
It's immersive?
What do you mean immersive?
Like, is it?
It's kind of like a documentary, but I mean.
Okay. So it's not like a story, like for example, how I was just talking about the haunted Hill House.
No, it's not scripted. No, it's more documentary. So, Sacrifice by Darren Brown on Netflix. That's my recommendation. And going on to closers. Let me see here. What did we talk about before Friendsgiving? Is that the first thing? Intentions. I do think intentions matter 100%.
Was intentions on the last podcast?
Well, we talked a lot
about it, yeah.
on this one, too.
Yeah.
We were talking about donations and shit. Yeah, Friendsgiving.
Yeah,
Friendsgiving.
okay, so intentions, I think, really do matter. Simply because whether or not from a legal standing, we talked about the Title IX changes and sexual misconduct, and we also talked about donating on I think that was this episode, donating turkeys and whatnot. I do think that your intentions matter because I think all you have is who you are as a person. At the end of the day, I don't think anything else matters except for your morals and who you are. So I do think that intentions matter 100%. Friendsgiving, not a big fan of, just because it's millennial attached.
Eat a dick, Double D.
Okay. All right, and Black Friday, absolutely not a fan. I like to stay home on that day. And then I think that's it. That's all for me.
Okay. My recommendation would actually be, I sent this to a few buddies the other day. It's called it's a TED Talk. It's called Quit Social Media by Dr. Cal Newport. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. It's relatively short, but I think it's a very good listen. I think social media has distracted a lot of us from interacting with one another and developing interpersonal skills, and it's I think really hindered the new wave in this new generation. All kids knows about phones and social media and technology, but they have no interpersonal skills, and now they're trying to petition not having to stand up in front of class to speak for projects and things of that sort, which is terrible to me. But yeah, so if you get a chance, check that out. In closing, I think Friendsgiving, I think I've got a little unbothered about that particular subject. So I think you guys understand how I feel about that one. I think that, a lot of millennials are all about self. And if you're going to live in this life and just be all about self, then you're going to be lonely. And you'll be by yourself. And that's the Quiet Storm speaking. Black Friday. Black Friday, yeah, definitely not a fan. I'd rather wait. I'll do some shopping maybe on online or something like that if I really need something. But I'm all for trying to save and equity and establishing savings accounts and things of that sort.
Specificity.
So it's not something to me. There's nothing in me that I'm going to run out and just pump a bunch of money into the economy just because things are on sale.
Except prostitutes and herpes medicine.
As far as what was the first?
It was about the
Intentions?
No, it was about the group that stole the GoFundMe money.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a piece of shit move. If you're looking to, for personal gain in that regard, then you definitely deserve to be federally prosecuted under those terms. And then as far as this Title IX thing goes, I think that that's great. Because I think that that's going to shift society now, right? Because it's already shifted one way. Then you have the Me Too movement, and there's so many things that, like we talk about intentions, that people can be ill intent and potentially jeopardize or just basically screw someone's life up. I can accuse you of something, maybe because I misinterpreted it, or maybe because I just have ill intent, and then now because it wasn't investigated, it was just, oh well, she's a woman and this shouldn't happen. They're going with her word, and now it screws your life up to where you have to actually sign on a dotted line if you want to move into a neighborhood. I mean, it ruins your life. It ruins your life with kids. It just ruins lives. So with that, I think that's probably going to create a shift in society if other schools start to adopt it, because I think at the collegiate level, there's a lot of influence in today's society from different things with college and all. So, but that's pretty much all I had in closing.
Remember when we didn't talk through each other's closers? Like, we had so much respect for each other.
Yeah.
And then we got to know each other. And then we just started, destroying.
I'm guilty of it because I did it on the last episode.
I'm guilty of it. We all talk through each other's closers now. But my recommendation is it's called The Play Is the Thing. It's by LA Theater Works. It's also and I think the network is Wondery, but this now Art always laughs at me because I'm an advocate of love songs and love stories and chick flicks and different things like that. I've always liked those things. And go ahead, let it out. Go ahead, 'cause I know what you're going to say. Go ahead and say it.
Grow some nuts.
That was actually different than your norm, so.
I'm joking.
But LA Theater Works is really good because another thing that I'm a big fan of are plays. And this one, it's a podcast, and they just have great plays in it. Different stories and different things like that. Some of them funny, some of them interesting, some of them murder mysteries. There's this one of my favorite ones is actually called hold on. One of my favorite ones is actually called I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on it.
That's not how podcast works.
Nice.
You don't get back to someone.
What is it called? It's not Becky Shaw.
What if it was?
Is it Boy? The motherfucker in the hat? It's not the motherfucker in the hat. Oh, This Is Our Youth. That is one of my favorite ones, and it's good because if you ever seen Home Alone, the mother from Home Alone and her husband actually play in this play, and it is hilarious. I'll give you a brief synopsis of it. She wakes up and she just finds out that she's not in love with her husband anymore. So they're trying to figure out why and what's going on and what they can do. It's insane. It's really funny. I really recommend it. But I just recommend LA Theater Works, the plays the thing. Just in general, it's really good. But about my closer, you guys kind of echoed how I felt about the dickheads that stole the money from people. Like that's just the bad part of the world. As I'm getting older, I noticed that there is so much bad in the world, and I grew up in bad in the world, and I grew up bad in the world, so I try to not do that anymore, because I try to, I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm just looking at and for the positive. You get what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, like my example before was there's a burning building. Speaking of which, condolences to everybody who lost their lives in California. But like there's somebody in a burning building. There's 42 people that died. Like I was in 8 people that survived. I would say it's great that those 8 people survived. It's sad that those 42 people died. But the firemen that saved those people, they're heroes. And I would praise them, you know what I'm saying, just as much as I would, what's the word? Mourn? Is it mourn?
Yes.
I would mourn the others, because you don't have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I feel. And I'm not a big fan of intentions. I'm not. Like one of my favorite songs, and one of my favorite rappers, Joe Budden, he says, "Fuck your good intentions. I'm only concerned what's taking place. Everyone feels entitled, made up their mind they got a right to. You can have the cars, you can have the clothes, take all the shit that I don't love. I learned fast that recognition is his own drug." You know what I'm saying? And what else did he say? And what's worse than some of your actions being feminine is I have no evidence. Hold on. And what's worse than some of your actions being feminine is I have no other way to know what you're doing is genuine. You're there when it's bright. You better be there when it's dark. You want to be there for the ride. If you're not there for the ride, don't be there when I park. And what that means to me is actions are way more important than anything you intend to do. Anything you intend to do, if you don't do it, it doesn't matter. All an idea is a dream that nobody does anything about. Like, you have to do something. You have to do something in order to make things come true. In order to make your dreams come true, you got to wake up, right? But that's what I have about that. And I do like narrowing down what sexual harassment is, honestly, because Art grabs a lot of ass and titties when we go out. And
whoa, did you just say ass and titties?
Ass and titties. Ass and titties.
He brought it back.
Ass and titties.
I feel like those are 90s. Like that's like a 90s way of putting things, right?
But he sexually harasses a lot of women when we go out.
Please stop.
Me too.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he sexually harasses me too, and I sexually harass.
I thought you meant that you also sexually harass.
You really you fucked that one up.
I'm like you. I mean, I can just edit it out.
Oh wow.
Ass and titties and ass.
But no, but it's good to narrow down what sexual harassment is, because let's call a spade. Women, you are scaring these guys.
Well, let me butt in really quick. I think women...
Get the fuck out of my closer.
Women sexually harass men just as much as men do women.
But we're not talking...
It's just the fact that the way the culture is...
There's a double standard.
It's not set up for women to...
Take the fall.
To take a fall.
Yeah.
So with me walking down the street, I don't understand what the difference is when women catcall me, and then when men catcall them.
We have to pay.
Do you mind it though?
No, that's one of the differences.
I think that's what the difference is.
If you're ugly, don't catcall me. I mind it. I may.
But we
call
have
the authorities.
But it's a hell of our own making. You also have to keep that in mind, because, like you said in the last podcast, or a couple podcasts ago, we just let this shit go. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that we let go just because of the box.
That's the kind of the burden we bear.
Like, once you get older and you realize the box really isn't that important, once you get older and you realize that, it's already too late. We've already raised this generation of people who think they're princesses and queens and instead of just normal fucking human beings, right?
You see the
Yeah, I seen what he did. I'm gonna beat him the fuck up. But like, we raised this generation, you know. So now, honestly, I really think the damage is done. So all we can do is focus on the next generation and focus on raising them to counteract what the hell's going on
with this generation. Correct. Yeah. Hopefully,
because
the next generation.
Let's be honest. Everybody's not a fucking queen.
Gen Z, can you please save us? Please
Gen
save
Z
us.
sounds like a superhero.
Well, I think
maybe they will be.
We're Gen Y, right? I think millennials. I think are
no.
I think you're Gen X.
I consider myself Gen Y, which is slightly after Gen X.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't fully identify with Gen X.
Slightly like how?
I don't think we're Gen Z.
Because I was born in the last year of Gen X. So I don't really have anything in common with somebody born in like 1965.
I wonder how that feels.
Holy shit.
You know, because I'm pretty sure that's when Gen X started. It was like around 65. So I was born in 81. So I think there's kind of like a micro, what do you call it? Like a micro generation that they've termed Gen Y.
Yeah, and yeah, so Gen Y is technically supposed to be anyone who was born between 1980 and 1990.
Okay, so yeah, I was 81.
Oh, it says born in. It says born in. I'm sorry, I misread that. Born
it
in
actually
the 80s
says
and
millennials.
90s.
80s and 90s.
It actually says millennials.
For Gen Y. Yeah. So we are Gen Y. So Gen Z, we need you guys to save us, please. Please do so.
So that would be like my kids' generation.
Yes, they need to.
95 to 2010 is Gen Z.
The post-millennials, I've also heard them be called, yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah, so where was I saying? Oh, I was in my closer. But
are you still on your closer?
Because I got interrupted by Dick Face over here. Whoa. But, like, yeah, ladies, you're scaring us. Well, you're scaring them. I'm married. I can sexually harass my wife, and she loves it. Ha! I won. But anyway, that's my closer right there.
Okay. That was bold.
Yeah, that was a
I'm obviously joking. I don't sexually harass my wife.
Oh, 61 for Gen X.
You're fucking old, Double D.
So wait, they have a
Not that
20-year gap. There's a 20-year gap in their generation. 61 to 81.
All right, guys,
61 to
you
80.
just heard from the non-filter podcast from the no. Fuck.
What was that?
All right, good. Hold on. I gotta get my voice back.
We have to edit this out.
Nope. All right, now this is another episode of the No Filter Podcast. I am your host, Remorseless, signing off.
That it's not how you usually do it. It's me, Double D.
It's hard, I guess.
I fucked it up?
Yes.
Fucked it up, dude.
Get over it. Anyway, peace, man. Thank you for listening.
Hey, guys. Double D here. And let's face it, you're a loser. Yeah, yes, you. You don't have any friends. And here's why this is a problem. Because after you've downloaded this episode and listened to it, you're going to love it so much, you're going to want to go out and download all the other episodes of No Filter from the EMP network. And then after you've listened to those, you're going to love this show so much, you're going to want to run out and tell all your friends about it. But guess what? You don't have any friends. So go out into the real world and make some friends. That way you can tell them all about it. And you can also tell them about our socials where you can hit us up. Hit us up at Twitter at network_EMP. Also on Instagram, EMP Network 412. And also on Facebook, you can like us, EMP Network, and share it with all your friends on there. You know, they say that they're your friends, but they're not your friends. So go out into the real world and make some friends, you weirdo.